In today's video, I wanted to go over my next whole home solar project and how I'm going to use Google's Gemini AI to help me plan it. Now, as most of you are already aware, tech giants like Google, Microsoft, Amazon have been building giant data centers to house all of their AI servers, and that's been driving up the cost of electricity quite a bit over the last 5 years. Now, to combat those rising prices, a lot of us have been installing whole home solar systems with battery storage to try to become as independent from the electric grid as possible. And of course, you also get the added benefit of having power whenever the grid is down, which seems to be more and more likely these days. Now, while it is bad news that AI is driving up the cost of electricity, the good news is you can use AI to help you plan your solar project to make sure you're sizing it appropriately. Even if you're a beginner, it's really easy to use now. Now, I have a lot of experience installing these whole home solar systems, so I already know the size system I want to put in, but I wanted to use AI, just like I was a beginner, just like I was somebody like you, to type in my questions and see if it gave accurate results. And you know what? It's really good. Now, the system I plan on installing on this house is basically the system you see behind me. The EG4 Grid Boss, the EG4 Flex Boss 21 hybrid solar inverter, and then the EG4 all-weather 16 kilowatt hour lithium batteries that they just released. Now, my goal is to probably put 3 batteries in on this system since it is an all-electric house. I'm not quite sure if my budget's gonna let me do that right off the bat. The good news is you can just start with 1 battery and then you can scale up or add batteries as your budget allows. Now, if you'd like to see a wiring schematic of the EG4 Grid Boss, the EG4 Flex Boss, wired into a battery, basically this exact system you see in the flow chart from the electric meter that you see right here into the Grid Boss, then over to the Flex Boss, I have that available for free. You can go to flexboss21.com to download that. And in the description of this video, I'm gonna have links to where you can purchase this equipment and actually where I recommend you purchase it from so you can have access to phone support from tech people here in the United States, with also discount codes that I can give you as well to help you save some cash on these. Now, let's quickly check out the house I plan on installing this system on so you can get an idea of where I'm starting from. So this home is a 1,900 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, all-electric house. So it has a standard electric heating element, whole home forced air system, so that uses quite a bit of power. It also has an all-electric traditional 40-gallon water heater. It's got a traditional electric oven and your standard electric clothes dryer. So it has quite a bit of potential for continuous watt usage. So this is the electric meter for the house. It feeds this kind of sub panel here, and then it goes underground straight down over to that wall over there where the electrical panel is on the other side of that wall inside the house. And my plan is to put a ground mount solar array all in this area right here. 2 rows, probably about 20, 25, 26 panels, somewhere like that. It's probably gonna end up going about 60 feet down the way here. While the roof looks like it's good for solar on this side, this is the north facing roof. The southern facing has kind of a weird kind of peak over there, so it's not really ideal for solar, so I'd rather do ground mount if I can, but obviously you can do roof mount if that's the only option you have. So now that we know the size of the house, we need to find out how much electricity we are using in this house per month. So we could break that down into a per day and then use AI to just type in questions about how much battery storage, how many solar panels or total kilowatts of solar panels that we need out here. So let's go do it. First off, let me apologize if my audio sounds a little bit different. I'm using a different microphone here at my desktop to record this. So first thing to do, you're going to have to open up Google's AI. It's called Gemini. So you're going to type in gemini.google.com. And when you do that, it's going to bring up this screen here. Now, I do have the paid version, or the pro version, which is free for 30 days, and it's like $21 a month after that. You could just use it for free. Actually, you don't get quite as many tools, like you won't be able to, I think, create images and videos like I have down here and music. But even the free version may get you all the way there. If not, just sign up for this paid version, which is only, like I said, it's free for 30 days, and then it's like $21 a month. You can get everything you need done within probably a few days, if even that. You could probably do it all in a day. But it just says right here, ask Gemini 3. So you should have already looked at your power bill and found out how many kilowatt hours you use on average per month. And then you're going to break that down to per day. Actually, you'll find out that you can just use AI to break that down. So let's just say, like for me in this house, we use about 1,200 kilowatt hours per month. So let's just type into AI here. If I use 1,200 kilowatt hours per month, how many solar panels would I need in Texas to not have an electric bill? And then hit enter. It's going to think for a few seconds, depending on how fast your internet connection is. And you'll see to completely offset a monthly usage of 1,200 kilowatts in Texas, you would typically need a solar system size of approximately 8.5 kilowatts to 10 kilowatts. So right there, I was thinking I was going to put in about a 10 kilowatt system. That should have been about right. And as you can see, AI pretty much nailed that. And it says here, it gives you more details. The exact number of panels depends on how much wattage each of those panels are. And then it kind of breaks it down, your region, if you're in West Texas, if you're in Central Texas, East, North Texas, and then just how the calculation works, if 1,200 is your goal. I mean, you can go into all these different details, but it gives you a lot of good information. But as you can see right off the bat, it quickly came up with how many or how big of a solar array I would need. So now let's ask it, how much solar battery storage would I need for that? So let me type that into our little Ask Gemini box here. How much solar battery storage needed if I use 40 kilowatt hours per day of electricity? And let's see what it says. Now, to calculate how much battery storage you need for 40 kilowatt hours of daily usage, you first have to decide on your goal. Okay, so it's going to break it down into goals here. Are you looking for a safety net? Or do you want to be powered through a multi-day storm? Okay, so here, let's see. The peak shaver, or evening use only, 15 to 20 kilowatt hours. If your goal is to avoid high electricity rates in the evening, time of use, or just cover your power until the sun comes up, you don't need to store all 40 kilowatt hours. Most homes use 30 to 50% of their power after the sun goes down. And it says, look, 16 kilowatt hours should be enough, kind of like the bare minimum. Okay, great. If you want the whole home backup with 24 hours of autonomy, they recommend 40 to 50 kilowatt hours. Yeah, I would say about 50 to 60 I would like on this house to feel comfortable. If you want to add an EV charger, then it'd go up, obviously, at least another battery, maybe a little bit more. And then it has the off-grid. If you have no access to backup power, you want to survive 2 to 3 days of rain or clouds without the grid, then use the 3-day rule, which comes out to about 80 to 100 kilowatt hours. That's pretty expensive in battery storage, since battery storage is the most expensive part of these systems. So I tend to stay around the 40 to 50 would kind of be where I would recommend going. You could always cut your electricity usage if the grid went down, so you're not using the same amount as you usually do. But this is obviously very good information here. It talks about the depth of discharge, inrush. I mean, you could go on and on and on and just keep typing questions. But so you can see, basically looking at this, it recommends at least 15 to 20 kilowatt hours. It'd be more ideal to have the 45 to 50. That's about exactly what I think as well, and I've been doing this for a while. So I would say it passed this test as well. So this house is going to be all electric. So one thing we have to think about is the continuous usage. So I was thinking about using the EG4 FlexBoss 21 inverter, but at night on batteries, 12,000 watts or 12 kilowatts is the max continuous usage for that inverter. So since this is an all-electric house, if I'm going to use all those appliances at once, it's going to blow through that 12,000 watts. Now, it can use 16 kilowatts if you have solar present as well, but I want to try to go with, hey, it's at night, there's only battery, 12,000 watts is the maximum. So let's just say let's just ask it a question here. If I run my electric water heater, electric stove, and run my 4-ton AC at the same time, how many continuous watts would I be using? Run these 3 heavy hitters simultaneously, you're looking at a continuous power draw of approximately 12,000 to 18,500 watts. So you can easily ask AI those questions on the appliances you have, and it'll tell you about how much your max continuous power draw is going to be. Now, with just one FlexBoss 21 at 12,000 watts, it can almost handle this. Now, if you wanted to add a second one, it's not very difficult to add it right to the grid boss. And you could double that to 24,000 watts, and that would totally cover you. But you can get the idea of, depending on your appliances, you can just tell it what appliances you have. Ask Gemini here, and it'll spit out exactly about how many watts you're going to be using, so you can plan for what equipment you need. So since I already plan on using EG4 equipment, let's actually ask AI and see what it says on what it thinks of my equipment selection. So I'm just going to type, is an EG4 grid boss, EG4 flex boss 21 inverter, and EG4 16 kilowatt hour wall mount all weather battery a good option for this system? And let's see what it says. For a system requiring whole home backup and robust solar integration, the combination of the EG4 Grid Boss, FlexBoss 21 hybrid inverter, and 16 kilowatt wall mount all-weather battery is an exceptionally strong option. This trio is designed as a unified ecosystem, significantly reducing installation complexity and cost compared to piece-together systems. Okay, so it's basically saying that this is a great system to use. It goes into the breakdown. It shows photos of each. Talks about the costs. And system summary, capable of backing up a full 200 amp panel without a critical load panel. That's what I really like. You can parallel up to 10 FlexBoss 21s if you really wanted to go crazy. Pairing the Grid Boss and FlexBoss can save up to $7,500 in installation labor and materials by simplifying the wiring. And it says if you'd like, I can look for pre-configured bundles that include these three items together. So, and speaking of that, I will have links to where I recommend buying this equipment, because you can give them a call and actually talk if you have questions about the installation. And it is US-based phone support. And I can also get you a discount as well with my discount code. So I'll list this equipment in the description of this video for you to go ahead and click on those with that discount code. Now, the next obvious question for me at least would be, let's ask Gemini, can I DIY the permit for this solar system? And let's use Kendall County, Texas. Obviously, you'd put whatever county you're in, or city and county. And it says in Texas, and specifically in Kendall County, the answer is a bit of a yes, but while Texas law generally allows for a homeowner's exemption for DIY electrical work on a primary residence, the complexity of a 21 kilowatt system with high voltage battery storage makes the DIY permit process quite a hurdle. Here's the reality. Homeowners in Texas, you can legally pull your own electrical and building permits if and only if the home is your primary residence. In cash, you are exempt from having an electrician's license, but you're not exempt from the National Electric Code. Okay, obviously. So basically, you can put in, and it'll talk about how difficult it is to do it in your county or in your city, which is really neat, actually. Talks about the interconnection. I mean, it gives you all kinds of different information here. Now let me try to take it to another level. I'm going to ask it, can you draw me an electrical line diagram for permitting this system? Let's see what it says. That's a pretty tall order, I think. Let's see. Well, I cannot generate a formal stamped CAD file or a PDF suitable for a direct permit submission. I can provide a detailed line diagram layout. Okay. All right. So it gives us the line, a single line layout. Talks about all the different equipment. Next steps. Okay. Let's just ask it, is there a free source I can put this info into to generate a line diagram for permitting? Well, let's see what it says on that. Let's see, there are several free and freemium tools to generate this. Okay, it talks about Open Solar, 100% free. Okay, let's see, the simplest template tool is Copperfield. I have heard of this. It offers a free web-based drawing tool for line diagrams. Okay, you can drag and drop everything into it. The cons, you have to manually enter your wire size. Okay, no big deal. You can actually even type into AI here what wire size would be needed from the FlexBoss 21 to the Grid Boss, from the Grid Boss to your panel. Let's just click on Copperfield here. and just get a look at what they do here. So let's see, single line diagrams made simple, get started for free. This looks like it has templates. You can just drag and drop your equipment into these templates, and it will spit that out for you. So if you're an ambitious DIYer and you wanted to try and do this, it looks to me like with AI and with this tool, you can actually go ahead and get it done. Now, keep in mind, you're probably gonna have to do multiple revisions back and forth with your inspector or with the county. I mean, that's pretty common even for pros. It does say it's free, but it does have a pricing tab here. So, okay, it does say it's $34.99 per month. Now this is up to 4 dwelling units. So from what it looks like the free plan would probably do what you need if it's just for your house. So there are tools out there for that. So as you can see, this is actually using AI is a pretty neat tool, especially if you're a beginner, you just don't know the answer to these questions. Like for instance, a lot of questions I get, or one common question I get about the EG4 FlexBoss 21 is, when you go over that 12,000 watts continuous at night, does it stop the inverter completely and just go to grid for the whole amount? Or does it use 12,000 watts from your batteries and then just use, let's say, an extra 2,000 watts if needed from the grid? Well, we can ask Gemini that, and it'll actually give us an answer. So let's ask it that question. If I use more than 12,000 watts of power continuously at night, will the FlexBoss 21 inverter still be providing power and the grid supplement the rest? Let's see what it says. If you're drawing 12,000 watts or more at night, the EG4 FlexBoss will handle this load differently depending on how it's configured. Okay, inverter only without the grid boss. Okay, of course that's going to be the limit if you don't have a grid. With the EG4 Grid Boss, this is what I'm looking for. When paired with the Grid Boss, the system becomes much more capable. The Grid Boss acts as a 200 amp service manager. It allows the grid to supplement the inverter. For example, if you're pulling 15 kilowatts or 15,000 watts, the FlexBoss can provide 12 kilowatts from the batteries while the grid fills in the remaining 3 kilowatts. So there you go. It answered the question. So if you have questions about this equipment, you can literally type it here into Gemini and it'll spit out an answer for you. And I can tell you right off the bat, I know this equipment, that is correct. So everything I've seen here has been accurate. So pretty impressed thus far. Now I haven't even tried using like ChatGPT. From what I've done, my own research, Gemini seems like the best AI right now. So that's really it for now. I mean, you can just brainstorm all kinds of different ways to use AI in planning your system, but that's it for now. Again, go to flexboss21.com if you want to download that free wiring PDF that I have. And hopefully this video is useful for you. If it was, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. I am going to make this into a series video, so I'm going to walk you through the install of this whole home system I'm going to be putting on. Other than that, everyone, that is it for now. We'll see you in the next video.